Are the legendary Pokemon for Gen 10 or Winds and Waves hiding right in front of our faces? Today we will cover all of the leaks about the legendary Pokemon of Generation 10. Like I said before, I feel like I'm just gonna keep saying Gen 10 by accident and not Winds and Waves. Now that we know it's officially Winds and Waves, I gotta start saying that. And of course they showed the starter Pokemon, but we've yet to see the legendary Pokemon and of course the mythical Pokemon, but who knows when the mythical Pokemon is gonna be shown. That might not be for a long time. I also want to talk a little bit about that seed Pokemon, which is not a legendary necessarily, and it's not a mythical either. It's a very weird specific type of Pokemon that we're actually not sure if they're still gonna be using that type of Pokemon in this game yet, but we'll cover those leaks again anyways. Let's start off with a base leak of the legendary Pokemon. Like, in my opinion, probably one of the most solid leaks about the legendary Pokemon themselves. Okay, so Package Storm and Package Wave, which just means the different box art. Like, one is gonna be Winds, one is gonna be Waves, right? So the Storm Package Edition, or I guess this would be the Winds specifically, the role is an old man. It lives on an island that repels people. It possesses the power to correctly guide people and Pokemon with the power of wind. It only accepts humans who have properly raised breed Pokemon. And that's the exact same thing for the Waves version, except it's an old woman instead of an old man. There are a lot of people that think Mr. Winniechu and Miss Wavychu are actually the legendary Pokemon in disguise. Like, not quite literally Pikachu just being the legendary, but the legendary Pokemon disguising as a Pikachu, wearing the clothing that kind of resembles an old man and old woman in a way. Now, I think that's a pretty solid theory. I don't necessarily think it is, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it actually was, because I mean, just like the way they're dressed, like, definitely give off like grandparent vibe, which as we read on, it says the role is an old man. It lives on an island that keeps people away. It possesses the power of the wind to properly guide humans and Pokemon. It accepts only those who have correctly raised the seed Pokemon, and exactly the same thing, except it's an old woman instead of an old man for the Waves version. Anyways, Mr. Winniechu and Miss Wavychu, they have like a darker yellow color, which it does kind of look like a shiny Pikachu, but not necessarily shiny at the same time. So my theory is that they are just from this region. We don't know what the region name is just yet, but the region is Southeast Asia, very tropical. So they're probably just out in the sun, hanging out on the beach all the time, which is probably why they're also in their nice beach chilling attire. Mr. Winniechu and Miss Wavychu, I gotta remember that, man. So the box legendaries Wind and Wave, which I guess should be Winds and Waves now that we know that it's Winds and Waves. So the Storm Wind legendary, an elder guardian residing on an isolated storm-covered island. It guides humans and Pokemon through the power of wind and accept those who have raised the seed Pokemon. So before it was the breed Pokemon, but I guess that more specifically meant that seed Pokemon. So this is that seed Pokemon. It's a very ambitious idea. It's a single Pokemon that acts as, I guess, a key gameplay plot part of the game. And like I said, we don't know if it's still going to be in the game. They totally could have scrapped this, but it would be cool. It sounds like a unique idea. So it has no fixed final forms. Its appearance and development are shaped by growth, environment, and player interaction with near infinite variation. So this seed Pokemon will look different for everybody. Like, nobody's seed Pokemon is going to look exactly the same. At least that's what it sounds like. While it's considered rare, no one has ever witnessed its evolution. So I guess the base seed Pokemon, no one's ever seen it evolve, which we are probably going to be, you know, evolving this Pokemon in the game, I would have to imagine. And if you guys don't mind dropping a like on the video, subscribing to the channel, help me reach our goal of 50,000 subscribers. Any support is so much appreciated. And so you don't miss out on the new Pokemon news, leaks, and updates. It is hype season. So many more things are going to come out by the time Winds and Waves is officially released. Alright, let's get right back to it. According to legend, it evolves when it's brought near the islands inhabited by the legendary Pokemon. That's where its final form is determined by how it was raised and guided. So basically the entire playthrough of the game, until you actually get to the legendary islands, this Pokemon will probably stay pretty much the same, and then you will see it alter its form based on how you treated it, I guess, during the entire game. So the Pokemon is not a creature, but it's a system. Its growth directly affects the world itself, procedurally shaping islands, environments, and ecosystems. It also functions as a progression gate, unlocking areas to key locations, including the legendary islands. If retained, the system would represent one of the most radical departures from traditional Pokemon evolution, reinforcing the Gaia theme of growth, harmony, and interconnected relationship between Pokemon's human and nature. So like I said, this seed Pokemon isn't a legendary or mythical, but it's heavily tied to the legendary Pokemon. We also have some new Titan / like boss Pokemon, and this is just a theory. The dragon Nushi, which Nushi just kind of means like the Titans from Scarlet and Violet, right? PokeOS is saying legendary, maybe, which we don't really know. Like I said, that's just kind of a theory. So in this game, the legendaries are not portrayed as traditional villains or mandatory bosses. Instead, they act as a moral and narrative gatekeepers embodying the invisible forces that connect humans, Pokemon, and nature. Capturing or confronting them is not required to reach the end of this game, but it's necessary the true ending. So it seems like this game might potentially have alternate endings, kind of, in a way, reinforcing the game's non-linear structure. So this game is going to have a different structure, which is very interesting. Obviously, I still think almost everybody's going to catch these legendary Pokemon. I don't know why you wouldn't want to catch these legendary Pokemon. So the legendary Pokemon reside on different islands. They're covered by clouds, inaccessible to most. Entry is only possible, like we said earlier, by raising that seed Pokemon. Inside the clouds, the islands are procedurally generated with their shape, encounters, an environment determined by the seed Pokemon's growth. Smaller islands will serve as raid areas, mid-sized one connected to players, and a single large island is reserved for the legendary Pokemon. So with all that being said, this is all from the Terra leak, and there was this little like Gyarados looking cloud that people are like, yo, is that the legendary Pokemon? Apparently this in the trailer is actually how we're gonna spot raids. So I guess as of right now, the hypothesis is that is not a legendary Pokemon. That actually quite literally might actually be a Gyarados. We might see these big clouds shaped as Pokemon, and that's like where we go to find our raid battles, which is interesting. So I guess we'll see how that turns out. It's gonna be very interesting to see what they look like. I mean, we have some concept art, you know, like Icy Boy made this a while ago, and I think this is awesome. I think this concept art is fantastic. I just cannot wait to see how they're gonna portray Winds and Waves as a legendary Pokemon. It just sounds so cool to me. Let me know your thoughts and theories about that. Like, do you have any design ideas for the legendary Pokemon? Okay, so I thought it might be kind of fun to give you guys updates about my playthrough of Fire Red Leaf Green every now and then. I'm only about 3 hours into the game, so I'm not like super far yet. I'm gonna show you guys my team right now. It's not my final team, of course, but so far I have Charmeleon, obviously gonna get that guy to a Charizard, and then I actually was not planning on using Pikachu, but I think I will because I totally forgot that Raichu is Pikachu's evolution. I mean, you guys already know, Raichu is my favorite Pokemon. Let me know your favorite Pokemon as well. I would love to know. But yeah, I know that sounds stupid. I swear, I just like don't picture Raichu and Pikachu together. It's so bizarre. So for now, I got Pikachu, Charmeleon, and then all these other Pokemon, I think I'm gonna swap out. I eventually want to get Dratini, which I'm on this bridge. If you know, you know. Might be getting myself a Dratini very soon. But honestly, I don't really know what else I want to add. I think I want Lapras on my team as well. If you guys have any suggestions, like, let me know, because I'm really struggling to decide what to pick. I think because I've played this game so many times, so I'm like, I want to use a new team. I want to use Pokemon that I just don't ever use. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you did, please be sure to leave a like. Let me know if you guys want me to keep updating you on my Fire Red Leaf Green playthrough. It's probably going to take me a while. I'm just trying to enjoy the game. I don't want to like rush through it by any means. But honestly, let me know your updates about Fire Red Leaf Green. Like, where are you at? What are you doing with your team? Anyways, if you are really watching this far in the video, comment down below. Pear. Just the word pear, like the fruit. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.